um, bored because I cannot walk very much, but I'm okay, I think.
Yeah, that's the most important. You know what? I am also a little bored. Not a lot because I think lots of things to do. But
Yes,
yes, I am also bored. But it is much better to be bored than to be sick.
yes, you're right.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's it.
we have to get used to this life.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe in some other time we are going to be able to run and to walk down the streets. But yes,
Yes,
now in
yes,
this moment, let's wait at home.
yes, teacher. That's right.
That's it. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, teacher.
Thanks to you. Daisy, how are you?
Hi, fine, thank you. And you?
Excellent. I'm pretty fine. I'm very happy to listen to you. How do you feel?
Well, fine. Maybe a little nervous for the. I saw the outcomes, the results of the um, conference uh, about the virus and increase the number of deaths and number of the people who has the virus. And it's I think it's very important that we follow the recommendations and
Yes.
stay at home.
Yeah, you're right. It is much better. That's what we were talking, Giovanni and I. We were talking that, yes, we are bored, we are stressed to be home, but it is much better to be bored than to be sick.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, you know what? In talking about education,
No.
the education secretary, the person who is in charge of making all the decisions about education, it's Esteban Moctezuma.
No.
He has already decided that we are going to go back to classes in the schools still April the 30th.
Oh.
So we are going to increase 10 days more.
Yes.
And
It's but well, it's necessary.
yeah, that's it. So I think that, well, that's what I was talking to my children. I said, really, the situation is very difficult because if it wouldn't be like that, they wouldn't be canceling classes.
Oh yeah.
Whenever we are in the school, well, I don't
Mhm.
know if some of you are teachers. Is anybody of you a teacher?
No.
No? Well, we teachers can never be out of school before the time, and we can't cancel the class just because I want to. So it is a very big problem whenever we cancel the class or whenever we send the students home without the permission of supervision. But
Uh,
yes,
I think Giovanni says that he's a teacher.
Giovanni, I didn't listen to you.
No, he sent a
Yes,
message.
I am.
Yeah, so you, Giovanni, know that it's a very big problem to cancel classes just because we want. And so if
Yes,
they are canceling classes, it is because it is really, really an emergency.
yes, that's right. A friend of mine told me that today in USA died 3,500 people, and it is unbelievable for me.
Too
But
many people.
it is a big population, so it could be possible.
My goodness. So
Yes,
yes, we have to be careful, very careful about it. So it is much better to be bored than to be sick or to be dead.
yes, teacher, that's right.
Yes, and maybe it's more difficult for the for the children to stay at home, but it's the same. We have to explain. I don't have children, but I know that all the children that are at home, they want to uh, go out of course, but it's important that we try to explain the situation, and maybe we could or maybe they could understand um, the reason that they have to stay at home.
Yeah, that's it. You know what? Something that we are doing here at home. I have a little granddaughter. She's 9 years old,
Oh,
and of course, she wants to see her friends and to go to play. But it is not possible. So we told her, why don't we create a family gym? So we are
oh,
doing exercise here at home with her. We are
oh.
doing some Zumba.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
that sounds funny.
so we play the videos in YouTube, and
Oh,
we have a mat for doing the
oh,
exercise. And so yes, we are doing Zumba all together.
wow.
So yes,
Good.
the intention in here is that she moves and that she can be a little tired so that she uses all her energies and she doesn't be so bored all day long.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, and well, I needed to do exercise also. And now I am doing so, and I feel much better. I think that it was not so a bad idea to be home. I like it.
Yes, it's necessary. I
Yeah.
am doing exercise at home too, and I am following. It's a girl, a Spanish girl, and in YouTube, and it named Virtual Gym. Yes, Virtual Gym, and the class is very hard, very hard. I have a lot of pain in all my body.
Hey, that's nice. So it is going to be very useful.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Thank you very much, Daisy.
Welcome.
Juan, welcome. How are you?
Fine, thank you, teacher. Excuse me, I am a little late.
Oh, it's okay. Don't worry.
Okay,
No, it's
but
okay. Tell
okay.
us, how have you been?
Uh, fine, teacher. But I was watching TV because in Ecuador the number of people infected by coronavirus is high, more 2,000. Today is about 2,000, 2,200 people. The case are confirmed by coronavirus,
Oh my,
and 55 people are dead.
too many people.
Yes, it's terrible.
Yeah.
My wife dice, Juan, the class is coming, go out. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Well, yes, you know that we have to be very careful because it is a really serious situation.
Okay.
And you know what? I am now preparing some activities for my students because today we had the news that we are going to cancel classes 2 more weeks after vacation. So
Okay.
I think that something that we must ask students is to do many activities about information, use information to do activities about COVID-19 so that they
Okay.
can have the conscious that we are facing a historical crisis, and that they should be very so careful about their lives.
Okay.
Well, all right. You know what?
Teacher, we need survival today.
Yeah, that's it. So we are observing part of the history. We are witnesses of the history today. So it is something very difficult that it's happening, and that let's hope that everybody will be witnesses. But there are many people who are going behind, are getting behind. So let's hope that we always we all will survive.
Okay, teacher, I have three advice.
Yes.
First, survive. Second, to help, and third, to learn.
Yeah, that's it. You're very wise. That's it.
Okay.
You're so right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much, Juan.
Okay, teacher.
Okay, well, today's conversation class is about business. So my question is this, Juan, are you an entrepreneur?
Yes, I think I am an entrepreneur. Yes. In my case, I am an entrepreneur because uh, uh, I am a producer I am a coffee producer.
Productor.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's
But
great.
yeah, I have the harvest and the post harvest too.
How do you distribute it?
Uh, I am doing the samples to supermarket in Quito, and the
Wow.
family and the friends and the others, the other connection.
Hey, that's
Yes,
great.
yes.
That's pretty nice. Congratulations to you, Juan.
Thank you. The second entrepreneur is the honey bean producer.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You told us about it.
Yes, the honey is very good to prevent the coronavirus.
Yeah, too much.
It's a promotion only. It's a good promotion.
Yeah, but you know what? It is real because honey is a natural. Oh my, how do
Yes,
you say? I don't remember even the word into Spanish. The medicine that prevents or that kills some bacteria and some viruses. It's I don't remember the name. Um,
yeah,
well, honey is a natural medicine, so
yes,
it helps to kill viruses, to kill bacteria, to regenerate the tissue.
yes.
So it helps a lot.
Teacher,
Yes,
maybe it's propolis?
propolis is wonderful
Propolis?
also.
Yeah, yes. Okay.
Yeah, right. You know what? You are doing something so important because it
Yes,
is not only the production of honey, but also to maintain bees alive. That's basic for human life, for the Earth's
yes.
life.
But the honey is important for for me. But the more important is the pollination of the bees in the production of the food around the world.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
that's right.
it's more important. Okay.
Yes, you're right. That's what bees do. So that's why they are so important in all the planet's life.
Yeah, okay, okay, teacher. Thank you. Okay. Yes.
No, thanks to you. All right, Juan, who's your victim?
Oh, I can see the victim. The names, I can see the names.
We have in here to Daisy and to Giovanni.
Daisy, please.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, well, I don't know. Well, when I was a child, I sold realities to help for the economy in my house, but that was all my experience like entrepreneur.
That's great. You know what? I think that entrepreneurs are really brave people because to start a company, to run a company,
Yes.
even it doesn't matter if it is a big company or a small one. Just the situation of running a business is braveness because they have to risk a lot, they have to plan a lot to advertise, to distribute, to sell. Jesus, it's a very,
Yeah.
it's a whole adventure to do it. All right. Thank you very much, Daisy. So, who's your victim?
Giovanni.
Hi everyone.
Hi, Giovanni.
Yes, what is the question?
Giovanni, are you an entrepreneur?
Well, a little.
Why?
um, because sometimes I've got some work offers, but they are not um, how how do how do I say permanent?
Yeah, that's it.
And but that's a second way of gain money. My
Of earn.
of
Yeah.
oh
Earn.
yes sorry
It's
of
okay.
earn money. So my first way of having money is teaching, because I am a mid no a high school teacher, and I think today it is a little a little big risk to 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 raise a company, but I have some projects in order to get money in a in immediate future. I want to create some didactic. How do I say this? Didactic
Didactic.
material. Yes,
Mhm.
I want to produce some um, animation videos to teach history, and I am focusing in the in the way of creation. Yes,
Hey, that's
yes,
great.
that's my project.
That sounds pretty good. And you know what? Now that I think that, of course, we are in a crisis, and that's why we are, most of us,
Yes,
taking this way of education, the online education. But I put my hand on fire that it is going to be the most demanded way of learning in the future.
yes.
I think
I
that,
hope.
yeah, that's it. Not only home office, but also home education, e-learning.
Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so I think that in a near future, we are going need a lot from those materials. So you're a so visionary person.
Thank you, teacher.
Sure. All right. Now let's watch a video. All right. So here we go. Hey, where are you? Give me a moment. Just a moment. Okay.
Yes.
That's it. Here we are. Business. That's it. Can you, hey, no, Maggie, what are you doing? Here. Can you see the screen?
A little.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, can you see it? It's a video. It is like the night, like night.
Yes.
Excellent.
I can.
Excellent. All right. So here we go.
What factors? I'm really excited to share with you some findings that really surprised me about what makes companies succeed the most. What factors actually matter the most for startup success? I believe that the startup organization is one of the greatest forms to make the world a better place. If you take a group of people with the right equity incentives and organize them in a startup, you can unlock human potential in a way never before possible. You get them to achieve unbelievable things. But if the startup organization is so great, why do so many fail? That's what I wanted to find out. I wanted to find out what actually matters most for startup success. And I wanted to try to be systematic about it, avoid some of my instincts and maybe misperceptions I have from so many companies I'd seen over the years. I wanted to know this because I've been starting businesses since I was 12 years old, when I sold candy at the bus stop in junior high school, to high school when I made solar energy devices, to college when I made loudspeakers, and when I graduated from college, started software companies. And 20 years ago, I started Idea Lab, and in the last 20 years, we started more than 100 companies, many successes and many big failures. We learned a lot from those failures. So I tried to look across what factors accounted the most for company success and failure. So I looked at these 5. First, the idea. I used to think that the idea was everything. I mean, I named my company Idea Lab and how much I worship the aha moment when you first come up with the idea. But then over time, I came to think that maybe the team, the execution, adaptability, that mattered even more than the idea. I never thought I'd be quoting boxer Mike Tyson on the TED stage, but he once said, "Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face." And I think that's so true about business as well. So much about a team's execution is its ability to adapt to getting punched in the face by the customer. The customer is the true reality. And that's why I came to think that the team maybe was the most important thing. And then I started looking at the business model. Does the company have a very clear path generating customer revenues? That started rising to the top in my thinking about maybe what mattered most for success. Then I looked at the funding. Sometimes companies received intense amount of funding. Maybe that's the most important thing. And then, of course, the timing. Is the idea way too early and the world's not ready for it? Is it early, meaning you're in advance and you have to educate the world? Is it just right, or is it too late and there's already too many competitors? So I tried to look very carefully at these 5 factors across many companies. And I looked across all 100 Idea Lab companies and 100 non-Idea Lab companies to try and come up with something scientific about it. So first, on these Idea Lab companies, the top 5 companies, CitySearch, Cars Direct, GoTo, NetZero, Tickets.com, those all became billion-dollar successes. And the 5 companies on the bottom, Z.com, Insider Pages, MyLife, Desktop Factory, People Inc., we all had high hopes for, but didn't succeed. So I tried to rank across all of those attributes how I felt those companies scored on each of those dimensions. And then for non-Idea Lab companies, I looked at wild successes like Airbnb and Instagram and Uber and YouTube and LinkedIn, and some failures. Webvan, Cosmo, Pets.com, Flues, and Friendster. The bottom companies had intense funding. They even had business models in some cases, but they didn't succeed. I tried to look at what factors actually accounted the most for success and failure across all these companies, and the results really surprised me. The number one thing was timing. Timing accounted for 42% of the difference between success and failure. Team and execution came in second, and the idea, the differentiability of the idea, the unique idea, that actually came in third. Now, this isn't absolutely definitive. It's not to say that the idea isn't important, but it very much surprised me that the idea wasn't the most important thing. Sometimes it mattered more when it was actually timed. The last two, business model and funding, made sense to me, actually. I think business model makes sense to be that low because you can start out without a business model and then add one later if your customers are demanding what you're creating. And funding, I think as well. If you're underfunded at first, but you're gaining traction, especially in today's age, it's very, very easy to get intense funding. So now let me give you some specific examples about each of these. So take a wild success like Airbnb, that everybody knows about. Well, that company was famously passed on by many smart investors because people thought, no one's going to rent out a space in their home to a stranger. Well, of course, people proved that wrong. But one of the reasons it succeeded, aside from a good business model, a good idea, great execution, is the timing. That company came out right during the height of the recession when people really needed extra money. And that maybe helped people overcome their objection to renting out their own home to a stranger. Same thing with Uber. Uber came out, incredible company, incredible business model, great execution too, but the timing was so perfect for their need to get drivers into the system. Drivers were looking for extra money. It was very, very important. Some of our early successes, CitySearch, came out when people needed web pages. GoTo.com, which we announced actually at TED in 1998, was when companies were looking for cost-effective ways to get traffic. We thought the idea was so great, but actually the timing was probably maybe more important. And then some of our failures. We started a company called Z.com. It was an online entertainment company. We were so excited about it. We raised enough money. We had a great business model. We even signed incredibly great Hollywood talent to join the company. But broadband penetration was too low in 1999, 2000. It was too hard to watch video content online. You had to put codecs in your browser and do all this stuff. And the company eventually went out of business in 2003. Just 2 years later, when the codec problem was solved by Adobe Flash, and when broadband penetration crossed 50% in America, YouTube was perfectly timed. Great idea, but unbelievable timing. And in fact, YouTube didn't even have a business model when it first started. It wasn't even it was certain that that would work out. But that was beautifully, beautifully timed. So what I would say in summary is execution definitely matters a lot. The idea matters a lot, but timing might matter even more. And the best way to really assess timing is to really look whether consumers are really ready for what you have to offer them. And to be really, really honest about it, not be in denial about any results that you see. Because if you have something you love, you want to push it forward. But you have to be very, very honest about that factor on timing. As I said earlier, I think startups can change the world and make the world a better place. I hope some of these insights can maybe help you have a slightly higher success ratio and thus make something great come to the world that wouldn't have happened otherwise. Thank you very much, my great audience. And thus make something great come to the world that wouldn't have happened otherwise.
I'm sorry. I was speaking, but my microphone was not active. Please tell us, what do you think about the video? Juan, what's your opinion?
Excuse me, teacher?
Yeah, what's your opinion about the video?
Okay. Okay. When I was working in Nicaragua, I studied business administration. I know this situation. It's very important because if I need to buy any product or service, I need many things. For example, I need to know the market, the client, the product or service, the principal people is the entrepreneur. But the entrepreneur, it has risk and need how funding the enterprise. It's very important. The message is very important. But in my case, I am working for a long time to help the producers to buy the many products in the market. In Ecuador, I was working with Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock, I was an advisor of about a 100, how do you say, centros de acopio?
Oh, my distribution centers.
Distribution center. Thank you, teacher. For many agriculture products, for example, corn, bananas, plantains, flowers, cocoa, coffee, and other products. The problem is uh, how to do for training and to do as the capacitation for the producers. This is the
Training.
problem. The producer is only in only thinking in your production, but it no is oriented by the market. But
Uh-huh.
the message is very important for me.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Juan. Okay, Daisy, what's your opinion about the video?
I think it's very interesting because he was talking about entrepreneur, of course, and he mentioned um, 5 important points, and that one company or many companies has to consider for to be successful. And the point has the idea, team, business model, funding, and timing. And he mentioned that he have helped. I think the number was 100
Uh-huh.
companies, and some of that companies were successful, some others well failed, and he made analysis regarding to these points, and he found that the timing was very important for the successful of the companies, and he explained some examples like Uber, Airbnb, and he mentioned that for example, Airbnb, maybe nothing thought that one person will to how do you say rent their house, and maybe how do you say strangers?
Strangers to strangers.
Yeah. And but the surprise, the people wants to do that, and the other examples, and I think it's very interesting.
Excellent. All right, Daisy, thank you very much.
Um,
Giovanni, please talk to us about your opinion. Tell us.
Okay. Well, for me, it was a very useful and interesting video. It talks about why some companies succeed and why other ones fails. And that guy, the speaker, gave a lot of good information, and some very useful comparisons about those companies which were which were successful, like YouTube, Uber, Airbnb. I don't remember others, but that guy made a comparison about on five how do I say indicadores? Five criteria.
Notch.
How?
Notch. Notch.
I didn't understand.
Notch.
Notch?
Yeah, that's it. Notch.
Okay. Like ideas, a team, business model, funding, and timing. And this guy says that execution is important, but timing is it could matter more than other notches or
notches.
indicadores. Okay, and I think it was a good video, very useful for that people who are thinking about launch and launch a company.
To run a company. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Yes, to run.
Yeah, all
Thank
right.
you, teacher. Sorry.
No, my pleasure. All right, Javier, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Excellent. Welcome.
Thank you. Well, I think the speaker is talking about how an entrepreneur could beginning with a startup, and in which cases it could be success and in which cases could be failure, because there are actually some factors could be define what is going to happen with a startup, and he described 5 factors mainly, like the main idea of the business, the team, and how the team execute the idea. Also, he talks a little about business model and the resources, funding that are required for the business, and finally timing. And it appears that timing, it's which represent in accordance with his exposition, 42% could be the most important. It's like in Mexico we say estar en el lugar adecuado en el momento adecuado, to be in the best place, I don't know, in the opportunity time, and could be the success of the business for the startup, and also is not is the main factor, but also the idea and the execution are important, because if you have all those a good idea and timing, probably funding is something that is going to get easily, and also give some examples about what happened with companies that nowadays are very big, which sell billions of millions of US dollars, and it concludes that to be as successful and not failure with your startup, timing is the most important factor, in accordance with his exposition, which I agree it's very, very good exposition.
All right, Javier, thank you very much. That was so brilliant. All right, you know what? Now, here we have some words. They are vocabulary exponents about words regarding to business. So let's do this exercise, please. We are going to take some of these words to create examples. Well, I could say, for example, that an entrepreneur can be the owner of any business, that for venture, get a teamwork where he has the leadership to have a successful management of a company. Well, maybe I used a lot of words, but well, we are going to form ideas with these words. All right. So my victim is Javier.
Okay. Well, I think if you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to think about which kind of resources do you have. Obviously, you need to have an idea, but you need to be probably very creative with innovation to be different from your competitors. And in that way, your business could be successful. Also, you need to have a business plan to know how are you going to get good enough money to establish your initiative, and probably support with a good management the operation, the execution of your plan, and in that way you are going to be very happy with your project probably, and you are going to be a good entrepreneur.
Hey, that's it. Javier, you know what? It was pretty good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Javier, who's your victim?
I think Daisy.
Thank you.
The word that I want.
Yes, we are going to use the word to create.
Okay, risk. Well, I think that an entrepreneur has to accept a lot of risk for create a company. Maybe. Oh.
It's okay. Thank you very much, Daisy.
No.
All right. Daisy, who's your victim?
Giovanni.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I think being an entrepreneur means to take risk, to invest money, to invest capital, and to have a lot of initiative to innovate in different fields, and it means a very big leadership, and to try to do a very good management. Yes, and it could be it could make a company successful.
A successful company. Excellent. Thank you very much, Giovanni.
Yes, sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you, teacher.
No, my pleasure. Giovanni, who's your victim?
Maybe Juan Bravo.
Thank you. Juan, hello.
Yes, teacher, I am here.
That's it.
Okay.
All right.
The entrepreneur. Okay, the entrepreneur is a people. It has initiative and many abilities to sell any any product or service. It has a team, a very important team to work and use money. It has very innovation, because the innovation is the key to survival in the future. It take risk. It have any solution each day for the client. It has only so.
Hello, Juan. Well, I think
Okay,
that Juan.
maybe.
Okay.
Okay. No problem, teacher. In my opinion, I think the entrepreneur, it has social responsibilities. For example, don't contaminate the environment, for example. It's only.
Hey, that's it.
Okay.
Great.
This is my opinion.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, you mentioned about the environment. There are some companies that manage sustainability. And yes, it's so important. Thank you very much, Juan. All right, let's see. Well, here you are, another, well, it's a mental map about entrepreneurs.
Ooh.
And they say, well, here we can see that entrepreneurs should have innovation, really innovative ideas for running a business. And of course, knowledge about business and about the product that they want to run. They have to plan what they are going to do. And as they are going to take a risk, they have to be tolerant. They must have assertiveness. And of course, they need to have leadership for conducting a very effective and a very professional team. So guess what? I want to ask you for a favor. We are going to have just a little break because I made an appointment with Javier because he needs to do his speaking exam, and so he was waiting for do it for many days, and so we are going to have just a little break. We are going to stop classes 5 minutes before so that we can work together. So are you ready, Javier?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Hey, guys, if you want to stay in the class to listen to Javier's exam, it's okay. If you want to log out, there's not a problem about it. Javier, the results of the exam are going to be sent directly to your email after we finish, all right?
Okay.
And about the others, I'm sorry, about Daisy, Giovanni, and Juan, if you want to stay, welcome. If you don't want to be here, if you want to log out, there's not a problem. That's the last activity that we are going to do. All right?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, teacher, I will leave.
I will leave.
It's okay.
In
Thank
order
you.
this guy don't get nervous.
Thank you.
Good
Me
luck.
too.
But as you prefer, no problem. If you prefer to stay.
See you.
Bye.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, Javier, let's start. I'm going to tell you how this will be. So we are going to have in here the rubrics for the speaking test. We are assessing fluency, phonology, vocabulary, grammar, and successful communication. We are going to have, if you do it perfectly, then we are going to have 2 points. If you commit mistakes, you are going to have 1.5. If you commit serious mistakes, you are going to have 1 point for each one. And if they are really, really serious mistakes, you are going to have 0.5. if I can't understand a word about what you say, you are going to have 0. But of course, this is not your case. So we are not going to mention it again. All right, but well, those are the points that we are going to assess. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
And here we, hey, Jesus, give me a moment. Aha, here it is. So I'm going to share the screen with you. Aha, here it is. Please, let's talk about the task 3. For 2 minutes, talk to me about your favorite sport. If I interrupt you, it means that your time is over, okay? If I don't interrupt you, it means that you can continue speaking. Ready?
Okay, yes, ready.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, well, talking about my favorite sport, nowadays I do several activities. I like to walk outside with my dogs. It's really wonderful to 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 take that time to stay with my dogs and play and run, and it is I think a very good sport. Also, I like to uh, uh, play golf sometimes, and it's something that you can to be on nature with very nice views, and with friends, talking with friends, and doing jogs, and also walking, and having a really very nice time. Uh, Also, I like to watch some sports, many of them, or all of them almost, by TV, American football, some sports like baseball and basketball. Probably I prefer just to pay attention on finals. And also, I think sport is part of my life, which I like to spend time, and almost daily I try to walk or doing jogging uh, around my house, and it's something in which you can stay or feel well uh, about your body. Also, you have time to think about several plans that you could have when you are doing the sport, because I'm walking or running, jogging, not necessarily running, and I like to play all the sports, doing friends, new friends, which is easily in that kind of environment.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt you. We have finished with the time of the 2 minutes, but I have
Okay.
2 questions for you. The first one, you mentioned that you like to involve your friends in doing some exercise. So are there any sports that you consider that should be played in teams?
I think all sports I play like a team, because you need to learn about the sport that you want to play, and you learn that someone teaching you how to do in the best way the sport that you can to or you want to practice. And in that case, you are doing friends, could be teachers, could be a colleague, could be something that is doing the same thing that you like. And it's I can think in any sport in which you can't stay alone. Obviously, you can do several sports alone, but the idea is to stay with someone else and doing friends.
Excellent. Yes. So, do you consider that sports are also a good point for socialization?
Yes, I think it's if you like sports, it's easily to do friends doing sports. It's my idea, no? My conclusion about sports.
About sports. Hey, thank you very much. You know what? It was a very good exam. I thank you so much. It has been everything about this. And the results are going to be directly to your email tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Oh, by the way, I review the platform, and I confirm that the rest of the test, talking about reading, use of English, and listening, it was done for me, I think, last days.
Excellent. I am going to check it up, and I will change the scores because, of course, there has been an error. So my apologies.
No problem.
Okay, thank you very much, Javier. Have a very good night, and I will be sending your scores tomorrow.
Thank you very much. You too, please.
Thanks to you.
For everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.